record. Great. So, okay, continue. So welcome everyone. It's actually great to have all of us. And as mentioned, quite a number of our members today are not in, but that does not mean that we don't continue. If anything, it's actually the reason why we should, because I think the whole idea is that this is a community-driven endeavor. And we obviously do it for the love of community and for the fact that we would want to really get this message out to as many people as possible, especially in our continent, Africa, and beyond. The African diaspora is also quite connected, as you'll see in the community on Telegram. Welcome, Dennis. I think it's your first time joining.
It sure is. Thank you.
Where are you joining from? I'm
joining from Kampala.
Oh, excellent. It's wonderful to have Kampala represented. So I think, we will be, our session will run for an hour or just thereabout. And our focus, as I mentioned, is just to really evangelize crypto. And, I'll get to talk about the details shortly. So maybe let's just carry on just so that we get context of where we are. So today we are actually on the last of the series for this particular batch. So we do 4 and then we take a break of 2 weeks or thereabout. And then we come back again and we just continue and we build concept after concept. So today we are looking at the crypto ecosystem. So it's more big picture. So those of you who like big picture will probably really find a lot of value in this one. And, let me just continue to give you a picture of where we are so far. So we started this journey in February and we've, covered, probably I'd almost say a foundational and maintain it at intermediate and with a deep dive on specific aspects. So we have not really wanted to go what you call advanced. Initially, I thought that was something we could pursue, but I think we've just kept it in a way that it's very friendly to beginners through and through. And we record these sessions and we make it available as resources for the community. Let me just welcome Lena. So we are on number 16, if I may put it that way. So today it will be concepts. We've talked about mindset previously. The previous one last week was actually a deep dive on staking. And then the one before that was just stitching together everything on really the journey so far. So it's actually been quite lovely to be able to arrive here. Welcome, Lena. Hopefully your microphone will be on. We've not heard your voice in a while, so maybe say hello. We've missed you.
Hi everyone. It has been a while.
It's great to hear a voice from the north of Namibia.
Yes, thank you.
Great. So let me continue. So I'll just, I think this quote it calibrates really our fundamental view on, these sessions and why we do it and the importance that we've put in terms of this. Somebody asked me what my motivation was, and perhaps even the broader motivation of the team, because there's 10 other people who are champions in the community, who are empowered to teach and share knowledge. Obviously, it's not limited to the 10, it's actually all of us. We are actually heading almost 100 people on Telegram. And our view is that this is such an important move that we cannot ignore, as you'll see in the later parts. And that if you don't have a strategy, then there's no other way of saying it. You actually hate yourself and you really need to look at yourself in the mirror. So I have added a new quote today for the sake of the regulars, which is to say that crypto is here to stay. It's not a trend. It's something that is here to stay. It's a direction. It's a path. It's a movement. It's a revolution of sorts, if I may put it that way. We are here because we stand on the giant shoulders of the internet. All hail the internet of value, not just information. And, we continue. This is just really additional nuggets to help us in our thinking. So a little bit about myself for perhaps for the benefit of Dennis and the people who've joined us who are new today. Most of the other community are not on today because of other commitments, but they've communicated. I have a background in technology, actually more than 15 years in industry. I wrote a paper a few years ago on Bitcoin and crypto. And really, it's not so much that. I think it's more really the pain on the back of it that has motivated me to really, put this out there to say, I think we are better if we share knowledge. We are better if we share information, especially information that can empower us, not only just in terms of head knowledge, but also in terms of our wallets and our net worth. And I think we have high value individuals here, right across, from people who work in fintech, in accounting, in technology, it's really across all spheres, in industry, in manufacturing and so on. So it's actually high value. And the point is not so much professionals only, but it's really anybody who is interested in empowering themselves. So I just continue. So this is perhaps our first starting point of Interact. This is going to be a regular segment. I've just tried to standardize it a bit around the barometer, and we have a simple gauge, which gives us, are we on the red side of things? Are we on the amber side, or are we on the green side as far as the markets? And at this point, I'll ask, maybe just for us to take a stab, we can put RAG on the chat. And then if you want to comment on any significant notable news items or anything that is notable from the markets, perhaps unmute yourself and just give a comment. Let's just go ahead and just do the RAG typing on the chat. And then if you want to unmute yourself, please go ahead and do so and just share your comment and sentiment from the markets. Crypto markets. On the chat, red. What's it, what's the mood in the markets? Red would represent, we probably bearish. The price is coming down. Maybe Bitcoin might not be 30,000, it might be 10. Green means, yep, we're looking good. We're going to go up and price is going to go up. Amber is just really, we just idling. We're not really moving anywhere. On chat, RAG, just type, which is your sentiment? Malcolm, do you want to say something on or your thoughts on the markets? Just, maybe you can give voice on behalf of the community. I'm not going to really dwell on this one because we have quite a lot to cover.
I'm not exactly sure, but I do think we stopped the bearish trend right now. So we're sitting at A right now. That's what I'm thinking for now. It might continue down a little more before going back up, but we're at A for me. Okay.
Everybody agrees, actually. That seems to be, we're actually in consolidation phase, so we're not trending up. We're just really consolidating, and that's fine. Great. So I think just for the sake of perspective, we are in this for the long haul. So we tend to take a long-term view. So we're not really trading as such. But yet, obviously, we need to be aware of what happens in the markets. I mean, I think from a macro perspective, I know South America is a hotspot for crypto adoption, Bitcoin in particular. Argentina is actually looking at this, I think, just from some of the sentiment that I'm picking from the market. El Salvador is obviously on board. There's other countries in South America who are really warming up to this. And hopefully, the stance that has been quite negative in Africa should change. Hopefully, Nigeria revises the stance. South Africa with the banning of cards and buying of crypto outside of jurisdiction. Hopefully that lifts, because really, when you think of it, I was speaking to somebody that we have a lot of value to unlock, because most of our people are outside in America, in Europe, so they'll send money using some of these platforms. That's just one of the examples of the benefits. And for the sake of, perspective, I think most of us would think that, this is the worst we've ever been. But can you see from the chart here that the corrections have been crazy in some cases? Perhaps the highest here is almost 90%, 86% correction in 2016. And I think just to tell us that, I mean, in 2018, thereabouts, the price ranging or correction point was about up to 83%, so, right now we are not even past, we are not 60% yet, if you think of it. So that tells you that, we shouldn't panic. I think that's the sentiment here that I wanted to share, to say that we shouldn't panic. And I thought this was a very interesting one. For the sake, can you guys still see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so this just gives you a picture of, you should check out Coin 360. It might be red across, but I mean, there are still greens here and there. And obviously, I mean, you can change the range, you know, periodicity from 1 day, 1 hour, 1 month, or custom dates. But this is sentiment, really. So we continue. I mean, these are just tools that we, you know, that would help you in terms of your analysis and just really looking at, you know, what's happening in the markets. But let's continue. So for us, the perspective we maintain here is that, you know, we seek to share knowledge selflessly, firstly. That's a core value of the community. And then we seek to provide an agnostic view, you know, and give an overview of everything, you know. So we're not really going to sell you anything. We're not going to sell you a particular coin. We're going to give you knowledge and actionable knowledge for that matter. But we obviously disclaim it still that it's not academic or meant to be financial advice. I think this is just really information that we're sharing and making available to all of us, you know, for our own benefit. And then I think this is just, you know, what we urge everyone, you know, encourage you to attend or review the recorded sessions, join our community on Telegram, and please interact within the sessions and even within Telegram and any of the other forums that we will make, you know, available this information. And importantly, apply. So I think I'll just continue. Now, here's a quiz for us. So from 0 to 1 trillion, how long did it take each of these companies to get from when they started to $1 trillion? Let's see what comes up in the charts. You can just type your answer. It's not in months, it's in number of years. So I don't know. Do we know the companies, hopefully? Theo, I think you want to say something. Go ahead.
Okay, I don't know. I think it took Amazon more than 20 years. I don't think Google and Microsoft are there yet. It took Bitcoin lesser years than all of them. If Bitcoin is $1 trillion. I don't know if Bitcoin is $1 trillion stuff yet, but I mean, comparing it to all the other ones, I think Bitcoin is running faster ahead than how long the others are taking to get there.
Okay, just for information disclosure, I know you love your company, Theo, but yes, Bitcoin is $1 trillion. And yeah, just for your information, I mean, you know, Theo works for Amazon. So, you know, the second company, I don't know, I thought you'd give us a specific answer on how long it has taken them, but maybe you need to Google quickly before we ask you. So anybody who has an answer, perhaps? Microsoft, how many years did it take to $1 trillion? Because all of them are $1 trillion, all of them. None of them is not trillion in the trillion club. Anybody? You can type if you want. You know, you can type if you know the exact number of years. Before I reveal, I'm going to reveal in a second. Okay. Anybody who wants to make a guess? Dennis, you might have an idea.
I think Microsoft must have been about 45 years. Amazon maybe about 20, Google about 20.
Good, actually. Good, very good, actually. Okay, nice. Let's see. Microsoft, spot on. It's 44 years or thereabout. Amazon 24, Google 21, and then Bitcoin, it only took 12 years. Can you imagine this? It's crazy. It's crazy. You know, an idea that is not even owned, it's not even a company in the first place. It's actually just a platform, a solution that rides on top of the internet. It's an internet of value, unlocking internet of value. And I'm excited to have my sister. So nice to have Abigail on. I don't know, just your microphone, you might need to exit and then re-enter so that we can be able to hear your voice. But there we go. So it just tells you, you know, how significant and important this particular innovation is and why we must be invested. Now, I was going to do a case study, and maybe I'll ask the question, you know, because I think I really want to lay the groundwork, and then we just kind of get through to this other side of it. No, Facebook has recently, yeah, Abigail, I think you can hear us.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, finally, it's good to have you on for the first time.
Nice.
Yes, so
I'm happy
that's
to
my sister.
join you.
It's a pleasure to have you on. And so let me put it this way. Facebook has joined the club recently. In fact, I think it's about a month ago. It has joined the $1 trillion club. Now, if you think of the business model of Facebook, who can tell us, just in summary, what's the business model of Facebook? What does Facebook do, or what did Facebook start out doing?
They sell our data.
You're so blunt, Bosh. You're saying the ultimate truth and nothing but the truth. Anybody else is more diplomatic than Theo? Anybody else who's more diplomatic? Lena, Tawanda?
Now on this one, I'm dumb. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. So let me put it this way. I saw this and it's actually made sense, and it's exactly along the lines of what Theo is saying. So Facebook is essentially, yes, it's a social media, it's social network, social network. That's what, there's a whole movie around it, about them. And of course, we really never thought much of social media. You know, you remember those days, we never really thought much. As 2004. We never really thought much of it. And then obviously in later iterations, as we became aware, then we had the data actually, you know, these people, you know, Facebook is stalking us and making, and now it's a $1 trillion company. You know, so, yeah, and the reason why I'm dwelling on this is that you will get people who will tell you, you know, crypto has no value. Yeah, that's why they missed out the opportunity on Facebook. That's why equally, and most of us are guilty, we missed out on all the other opportunities because we never thought, we thought Amazon was selling books, you know. We saw maybe Microsoft was the only one that seemed to have, but they had a really lousy operating system, you know, that wasn't, Theo, you probably want to say something.
No comments.
Theo, you wanted to say something? Okay.
No comments.
Okay, no comments. Yeah. So if you look at it, there's almost a Trojan horse, because I mean, Bitcoin started very basic, but if we really look, and we'll see it later, there's a lot of value. And I think the reason why I had to do this session is because I want us not to lose sight of the big picture, because I think we have seen the markets are in consolidation phase. It's not exciting. Your uncle is not asking you how they're going to jump in because it's not really exciting. You know, everybody's around shrinking back. Even the numbers are not as many in terms of enthusiasm, but that does not mean there's no value. I think that's the main point I want to make before we transition from this section, that this is a long haul. I mean, Bitcoin has taken 12 years. That's north of 10. It's not taken 2 years. It's taken at least 10 years to get where it is. The rest is 20 plus. So that says something about investing and having a long-term view. So I think it's very important to really emphasize that point. Now, let's continue to see what we're going to cover today. So we've built a set of resources over the last couple of, over the sessions we've had. I mean, we have an index, which we're going to look at today. We'll share the top 5, and then you'll be able to choose which ones you want to invest in. We'll have, we have the evaluation framework. We have the crypto strategy, which is actually the whole essence of why we started this in the first place. We have a mindset diagnostic, and also, exchange evaluation criteria. These are tools that we've developed together that are hopefully going to help us to be better in our investment and that horizon that we're looking at. Now, let me just continue. Welcome, Leshan, Julius, welcome.
Thank you.
Just let us know where you're joining us from.
I'm joining from Addis Ababa.
Oh, excellent. Wow, finally we have Addis. That was, you're the first person, so you hold the flag for Addis. It's such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Great. So we're just getting almost to the meat of the session. So we actually, the outline agenda is we're going to look big picture, key players and stakeholders. And then we look at some of the risks and opportunities. And then we lastly look at the top 5 index, but it's quite rich, data rich, you know, a lot of visualizations in between before we arrive at that destination. And then again, I seek to make it as interactive as possible. That's how we do it here. And so let's get to it. So here is where we really get to share our views. You know, who are the key players in crypto? You know, just according to your own understanding so far. Some of you have been on the sessions. This is not a trick question. It might be obvious, but because we did a survey and it's more than 60% of our members or the people we reach to are actually beginners. They are really just getting started. So who are the key players in crypto? Just unmute yourself and just really, you know, kind of just share your opinion.
Can I say Elon Musk?
Thank you. Very good, pointed. Absolutely, you're right. Who else? I'm expecting at least 4 answers, 4 different people to speak up. Welcome, Bianca. It's great to have you, as always. Who are the key players in crypto? Elon Musk has been mentioned. Who are the key players?
I would say the exchanges and the miners.
Excellent, absolutely. Exchanges and miners. Who are the others? I'm expecting another 2 before we carry on. Gabriel. And Lena. Who are the other players? Who are the other key players in crypto? Any other one more? Take a guess. I mean, it's not meant to be so serious. It's so quiet here. Lena?
I'm not really sure. Maybe the people who are supposed to buy cryptos, like all of us, I think.
Thank you. You have actually said, you know, probably the central piece. So let's look at this. So here is the perspective that that I want to paint, because I think depending on, because I think, you know, we have, I know some of us are a little bit more, you know, maybe technically inclined. We might be more aware about blockchain and the technology that runs it. We might be a little bit more familiar with, you know, some of the platforms and the solutions that are being developed. But I think majority of us are actually on the top part, which we all call consumers. We know the price of Bitcoin. We know it's been going up. We know that people who probably made a lot of money. And obviously recently we've heard about Doge and we have heard about Elon Musk. So most of us, you know, so this is what I call the crypto ecosystem, ecosystem. You know, this is original. This is all original material that, you know, we developed as part of our, you know, our learning. And I say, it's not a chicken or egg, or it's not an egg yolk, egg white kind of dichotomy. I prefer to promote the view that it's actually a more holistic thing, because blockchain enables crypto to be. Now, I consulted in big companies and corporate banks and insurance houses, you know, and most of them would not want to hear anything about crypto until recently. Now, JP Morgan and, you know, you know, Morgan Stanley Chase and the Bank of America and some of these institutions are now coming to the party and saying, hey, crypto is important. Why? Because initially they thought they could ignore it, but now it has proven itself and you can't really ignore it. Now, so this is the lens that ours, we will measure and speak a lot about consumer, but I do not want us to lose sight of the bigger picture. That's actually the point I'm making on this slide, to say crypto cannot exist on its own, and blockchain cannot just exist on its own without the utility that runs on top, which is evidence in crypto. And whereas crypto is mostly consumer, you know, there's a lot of, you know, underlying technology that banks and governments and other institutions are looking at, seeking to leverage and really just unlock the value in and used for bigger, digital transformation agenda, just to use a very loaded word there. I normally try to avoid jargon in our forum. Now, let me take this a little bit further, just to simplify. And I mean, if you do a Google search on role players, you get a very, very confusing picture of, that has, all these pictures and things, and just, for me, I've distilled it, and I call this, the table. I had a beautiful name that I just ran out of my head now. But this is like a table, right? Can you see? It's a table. And there are a table has 4 legs, There are 4 main role players, in my view, in a very simplistic view, even though the person sitting at the center, can you guys see who is sitting at the center? Who is not obvious, who is not mentioned here? In, what color is that now?
In orange.
Yes, who is that, Lena? You actually said it already. Lena, I think you mentioned the answer already before. You remember what you said?
Yes, I remember.
Yes. So the consumers, because innovators solving a problem, starting with Bitcoin and the many others, which are 10,000 of those now and continuing, solving these different problems, others solving problems that Bitcoin couldn't solve, those are Ethereum's, and, Cardano solving what Ethereum, purportedly has not solved. And then others, others were not solving any problem, which are a joke, like Doge, and it's no longer a joke. The joke perhaps is moved on. And then these are the innovators, these are innovators, and then investors coming in. Now, whether those are individual investors or institutional investors, coming in now into this ecosystem and saying, hey, we are putting money. And if you look, the first number 1 there is green. I put green intentionally there to say that's happening. It's growing. It's growing. I remember when we looked at this at the beginning, we had about less than, it was about 8,000, people. And I remember when I looked at this about a year ago, it was less than 5,000. Now it's more than 10,000, coins listed and projects, so to put it in perspective, telling you that there's a lot of investors putting their money. Investors are going green. So whereas, I don't know whether you guys are following the logic here. Whereas the markets are showing us an amber, it's correcting. Innovators are telling us we are green. We are fully green. We believe in this. We are putting our time and energies. We're putting our best brains. Silicon Valley, we are active, Geneva and Switzerland and all these other hubs around the world. Even, it's sadly, I don't know if we have any hubs in Africa that are doing crypto actively. But South America, El Salvador and Chile and Argentina and all these other places are saying, there is money here. We are putting our money here. Investors are putting money. It's green there. Now, when it gets to influencers, my brother Dennis, that's why we get a little bit confused. Because 1 minute, Mr. Elon Musk says, I'm really, really into crypto. I'm really into Bitcoin. I'm spending $1.5 billion into it. And then the next thing is he tweets the opposite of that. And then we are not sure what he really thinks and what he means. We are confused. Are you seeing that? So influencers are either individuals, the media, CNN, it's all over, the game is over, because of just some price correction. We saw the ranges from 86% correction of price on Bitcoin, for example, to where we are right now, about 55% or thereabout, So influencers have a big sway in this market. Now we are amber there. We are amber. We are not really, influencers, some like Grace, what do you call this? Some of the media houses are actually very bullish. They, the coin telegraphs and, the more crypto-based kind of media are very bullish about this. And then guess where we are red? It's obvious, right? Regulators. They are now coming slamming with, can somebody explain to me why we are red in regulator space? Can somebody just share their thoughts and mute on this one? Why are we red on regulator space? Anybody? Bianca? Why are we red? Tawanda, why are we red? That seems to be close to the money, you know, you're in finance.
The major issue with that is it's difficult for regulators to actually control this because it's decentralized. There's not one central place where they can put a regulation to. So because of that, it's kind of difficult for them to put regulations. It's, for example, if I give you the Zimbabwean situation, not all exchanges can trade there, but we still have some like Kraken that's actually trading there, even though the rest are not. So you've got that lack of control. They've got regulators have that lack of control. That's why I would assume it is in red.
That's a very good point, and thank you, Tawanda, for that. So regulators, you know, governments, and then also the reality is that, which is not said, is that the people who are lobbying the regulators to be tight are the people who are being threatened, the banks, you know, traditional finance or fintech, you know, financial institutions, not even fintechs. I mean, fintechs assumes they have been transformed by technology. So that's why there's red there, you know. Now, this thing will grow and it will say the green will continue to spread and maybe the red might continue being on and off. I think I want us to get the big picture here, that this green will continue to spread, but the red will not completely disappear. Neither will the amber completely disappear. You know why? Because we're in a world that continues to evolve. Innovation by nature is like that. You cannot really, you know, predict it. You know, after the fact is when you begin now to regulate. That's also a reality as well. So let's just look quickly on some of the use cases. I'm just going to breeze through this one. So now I think it's very important to acknowledge this. I mean, the difference between this slide and anything that we've talked about in the past is that we give a full picture. Now you're seeing the use cases here. Is there anyone particular that is surprising for you? We are not talking just the nice things. We are not talking about, oh, mining and storing your funds and your money and the price of Doge is 22 cents and now it's going to move to 50 cents. No, we are saying crypto is being used on both sides of it, on the light side and on the shade side. It's being used by good people and it's being used by people who are funny business. It's being used to hide trails, you know. It's used maybe positively to say for privacy reasons. It's used for legal and illegal kind of goods, you know, services, buying and selling of those. So we must be aware of that always at the back of our mind. So it's not, I'm not gonna sell you utopia and tell you, yeah, you know, crypto is now the sanitized version, just as it is with fiat money. It is used for different reasons. And those are legal and illegal. And that's why there is regulation. That's why government will be involved. That's why, you know, there's a heavy-handed hand of the law that seeks to regulate some of these things and seek to provide some kind of trail and auditability and so on. It's also used to take your money if you do not know how to keep it well, something called scamming. Has happened recently here in South Africa, has happened so many times in other places around the world. So it's actually all of these are valid reasons. Now, this is just a fancy picture to say, from a utility perspective, it's a multi-layered cake. I'll redo this picture, you know, so that we have this as an original, because I like the picture, but it's a little bit, I think, a bit limited in terms of explaining it, but it's going to be useful. So if you look at Bitcoin, it's useful for payments, the yellow. It's useful as a store of value. It's also useful, you know, for other things. The same with other things like Stellar. It's useful for transactions. It's useful for, you know, payments and so on. So it's a multi-layered cake. It's not just one-dimensional. That's really the essence of this slide. Now, let me just continue. Now, so having said all of this, and these are not things which are new to you. I think for those of you who've been in the regular sessions, somebody will say, you know, Tim, why are you saying this? I'm just really laying the foundation so that it's clear. Now, what are some of the opportunities that we have? And I'm just saying the obvious and the non-obvious, because today I'm talking about the obvious and the non-obvious. What are some of the opportunities? You know, anybody wants to just take a guess? Anyone who wants to attempt an answer? Even if it's obvious, because I mean, again, the obvious will be there and then the non-obvious will also be there. Theo? Okay, I think I'm gonna put this out. So the opportunities we have are actually, we've covered this mine and buy as our model of, just simplifying. I mean, if you go elsewhere, they'll tell you 100 things, but if you look at it, it just comes down to the 3. Now I'm going to talk about which one have we really focused on the most? If you remember, where have we really focused on the most in our session so far, and where everybody really talks about mining, earning, buying? Which one? It's so quiet today. Anybody wants to take an attempt?
I think we focused more on the buying side. We did speak about the earning side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we focused more on the buying side.
Yeah.
We did speak about the earning side as well, but we've really focused on the buying side.
Yeah. Now, does it make sense then that we actually need to go beyond just buying? Because that's the reason, the whole reason why I'm actually doing this session this way, the way I'm doing it. Because I mean, if you look at it, it's like, yeah, okay, buy crypto, buy crypto. Everybody will tell you, buy crypto, buy crypto, buy crypto. Even worse, buy this package, or join this scheme that now you're buying a bundle, whatever the case is, and you don't even know what is behind all of that. So obviously our model is completely out of that. So that's why we have these 3 as our legs in terms of opportunity. Now, anybody who is doing any mining, is anybody doing any mining here? Even if it's the most basic, even if you're doing low-end mining, which means you're using your phone, or you're using a laptop at home, or you're using, anybody who's doing any kind of mining, just a simple, unmute yes, or type a 1, or whatever the case is. If you're doing mining, type a 1. If you're not doing any mining at all, type a 2 on the chat. I really want to hone in on this, because I think this is really the highlight slide of our session. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, we have a few people who are doing mining. Maybe for those who are doing mining, what kind of mining? Do you mind just to share with us, what kind of mining are you doing? Because the idea of this is to make sure that it's accessible to others if they are interested in, other than just buying, and mining actually, yeah, maybe just unmute. Bianca, perhaps. Gabriel, go ahead. Gabriel, I think you've raised your hand.
Hello, sorry, man. I was trying to type a 1, but unfortunately I typed. It's a typo error.
Okay, go ahead. Tell us what are you using for your mining? Tell us, what are you using for your mining?
I'm actually into maintenance and repairs. I don't know if I'm right.
I'm saying mining, crypto mining.
Oh, crypto mining.
Yes.
I just chose mining because I'm actually first on this one. So I'm still, yeah.
Okay, no, you're in the right place. Thank you. Let's, Bianca, perhaps you want to share something, or Malcolm? What kind of mining are you guys doing?
Hi, Tim. Hi, everyone. Sorry, I thought you said mining is 1 and buying is 2. So I got it wrong. I don't mind. For me at this point, I think it's costly. And also the other thing is there's opportunities to earn instead of mining. So I prefer to go the earning and the buying route.
Okay, I want somebody else to lobby, please. Can somebody lobby for us,
Okay.
for Bianca? Go ahead.
The kind of mining, I think, is the popular one that you shared in the group, or I don't know who shared it, is the Pi coin, and it's mobile, so the mining on my phone.
Yeah,
that's the only one I'm mining. I think all the others, like Bianca said, you can't mine Bitcoin or Ethereum now. It's not profitable to just buy.
Yeah, no, I'm also on Pi. So
Yeah.
that's actually the only place where I'm mining.
At least you're mining. So, good people. Now, so the reason I'm really zooming in on this is so that, because remember, we don't want to just have one view. We want to have a holistic view. If you look here, and I'm going to spend a little bit more time on mining. So if we look at the likes of Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's high-end stuff. It requires, in fact, Bitcoin in particular requires a lot of money to invest. Or if not, then you need to buy a package, through the and buy some processing power, mining power in a mining pool or a mining rig, as they call it, which is really high-end. They use specialized machines. You're part of a conglomerate of really powerful hardware that actually does this. So that's a little bit prohibitive in terms of cost. Now, low end, we have options like Pi, we have options like B, we have quite a few other options. Now, I actually think, and maybe I want to really get to hear from the community what you guys think. If you're like, we can do a specific session to just cover mining and what coins can you mine, what methods can you use, what will be the cost. It will be very detailed like that. If it's something that really makes, because instead of just us buying, because we are buying all from exchanges. And then last week, Kevin taught us how to earn via staking, which is great. But I think we may want to also, because in the winter season we are in, where it's not, the price is not moving, you might as well be accumulating, right? I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys want us to cover a specific session on mining? Look at what the cost might be, what coins you can mine, what might be the opportunities, and so on and so forth. I don't know. Just what do you guys think? Again, we do this, powered by the community. I can't do this if there's no vote on the floor on the same. Maybe it's just me who thinks like that. Anybody who thinks that might be useful?
I think it would be a good session, Tim, as it would show, it will give a better understanding as to what mining really is. That's point number one. Point number two, if we can come up, or if there's more information on the coins that are actually available to be mined, that we can actually mine using the list of resources, and why one would be choosing those coins as opposed to just going out there and buying. Maybe it would be a very good session, because it would, if it covers those topics, for me, it would be a brilliant session.
Yeah. Thank you, Tawanda. Thank you. That's how you've actually influenced the input, which is really great. Any other thoughts? What do you guys think, as far as mining? Because I think the earning part, we talked about staking, which I think, and of course, unless you want to run an e-commerce shop online or do any of these other ones, including gambling, I'm not recommending it. We'll do a risk scoring shortly. You'll see where some of this fit in the spectrum of risk. Any other comment on that? Are we guys happy with what Tawanda has proposed? If we are in agreement, just type a 1. I think that will allow us. Go ahead, Gabriel.
Yeah, I think we should go ahead in the way Tawanda is proposed, because some of us, we are really new. I haven't started actually buying the coins or doing something. I'm still on the information digging side before I can jump into action and see what I can do. So I think going the way Tawanda has suggested, it will help some of us who are still outside on the fence, and we might fall on the right direction, on the right side, sorry.
Excellent. Maybe just to help you, Gabriel, and thank you for your forthrightness and just honesty on this one. Are you on the Telegram group? Let me just, for those who are not on it, I'll actually share the link just now. Are you on the Telegram channel?
I don't even know how Telegram works. I haven't used it. I only hear of it, but I haven't used it.
Okay, so I'm gonna just send this to everyone. I would suggest firstly join the Telegram group, because actually we help each other, and Pi, which the coin that Bianca and Tawanda mentioned, you can mine for free. You don't need to put any money in it. You know, obviously right now the value of Pi is not clear. It's not been established because it's not listed on any exchange yet, but I have like almost 2,000 and it cost me zero effort and it's continuing. So what if in future it's going to cost $1? You know, if each of them will be worth $1, I'll have gotten 2,000 or 3,000. I'm targeting about 5,000. I'll have gotten $5,000 for nothing. Zero. I will have put no money in it. You know, so I'm not spending my own money to buy it. I'm just pressing a button every other 24 hours and it mines for free. We're going to share the link and thank you. Welcome, Dennis, to the Telegram channel. So the Telegram channel is where really we're interacting and sharing all this valuable information. So I think it goes without saying, and it seems to be clear from the you know what we're saying, that we should actually do a session on mining, and I'm actually going to teach that myself, and then maybe see if somebody else can assist me to just really make sure that we've done some really thorough research on some of the coins and you know what is required and the cost and so on. So maybe that will come in the future batch of webinars that we're going to have. Thank you for that. So I think I just want to really carry on from here because I feel we've covered, I mean, because exchanges, we are very familiar with that. It's just nuances really between decentralized, centralized, and Theo is anyways covering a session on P2P when we resume. And I think that's in order. So I think let me just carry on from here. So maybe from a risk perspective, let's just really jump into it. Now, if you look at this, the set of use cases, which I said is not the sanitized versions of it, you know, if you look at the profile of risk, we have perhaps to the left where you have low risk. So mining pools, obviously depending on, you know, the credibility and so on, they have a lower risk versus the other extreme, which is what sometimes including parallel, you know, almost parallel to the legal system kind of activities, you know, that involves criminology and so, you know, criminals and so on. And, you know, so I think the point is that each of these things, crypto, you know, is used for all these use cases, but the risk is actually variable across. Like DeFi, for example, as you will see, is still a new concept. We talked about DeFi in one of the sessions. It's an emerging area, but it has, you know, it's a medium risk sort of. Exchanges, we have obviously narrowed down to reputable ones. So that reduces your risk. So obviously we need to really, you know, just look at this a little bit more, you know, in detail and really make sure that we are interrogating it so that we are using the right platforms and not just using anything that is out there that anybody is telling us, oh, okay, join us like AfriCrypt. Oh, okay, we're investing for you. And these are just fly by night guys who disappear with your money. So of course we endeavor to just make sure that one each and every time to say that you must do your due diligence. Now, if you look at, again, the value that has kept on flowing into crypto, speaking to the investor angle, this continuously, you know, the graph has continued to grow, as you can see. There's a lot of money coming into crypto. And you can see the different groupings, you know, whether into mining, and of course, the biggest one is exchanges, as well as there are some unnamed services, you know, and also P2P. And then, you know, you see also illicit is there, even though you might not see it, you know, as a big block there. So again, there's a lot of investment. So the point is that we should not just be afraid because of the fact that, you know, right now things are amber in the markets. Now, DeFi was the hottest topic last year. NFT has actually taken over this year, you know, non-fungible token. So it's a hype, it's in the hype phase. And you can see here in April, or probably this April, May, you know, that the amount of money and value that was being poured into DeFi platforms is absolutely phenomenal. Now, I don't know whether you guys are able to make sense of what these pictures are saying. They're able to tell us the trends. They're able to establish for us that this is actually something that's not going to disappear tomorrow. And where do we need to slowly begin to consolidate our money? Perhaps move away from very basic use cases and begin to look, as you will see the crypto index, you will actually see which ones are we recommending based on just this direction and the data that we're having. You know, so again, you know, you notice that from, you know, 2020, oh, there wasn't much. And then all of a sudden, you know, slowly this is a trend that is actually picking up because the world of, you know, decentralized finance and all these other smart things that are emerging, you know, the innovations that are being built on top of blockchains. Now, again, just as with good things happening equally, in terms of incidences of theft, those, thankfully, I think I've reduced, if you look at these graphs, we don't have, I don't have in this research, I don't have the latest for 2021, but obviously the whole aggregation for the whole year. You know, the different incidences and categories, there's a maturity in the field, and you're seeing that it's actually much less than what you had in 2018, for example. That tells you this is maturing very, very fast, and it's actually getting better and better. So it's the risk is contained and is being mitigated as we go along. So this is just a very positive indicator for anyone who is wanting to invest. And then lastly, you know, if you look at this, it's actually really, this is a cut across really in terms of what kind of targeted normally. You'd find that from a security perspective, regardless of whether it's crypto or even anything, where there is high value, if it is money, you know, there will always be somebody who will want to target that. You know, if there's sensitive information, if you're going to expose the president of a country or a prime minister or a significant person, people will always seek to target those kind of platforms. The same with where if you have poor security, that's why when we are doing even our ranking, we actually do a scoring to say, what is the level of security? And then, of course, you know, the likes of the whistleblowers, you know, WikiLeaks and the likes, where there's sensitive government information, there's a lot of value in sensitive information. So this is just really a typology of some of the targets that you'd have. Now, we have actually pretty much covered what I wanted us to cover for the session. We're going to transition in a moment to the crypto index, and that's actually pretty quick to cover. Are there any questions? Are there any comments from the floor? Have you found this useful? Just, you know, I want to get all of this feedback from you because I've actually, you know, just breezed through, especially the later part. Any questions before we move to the index? Any questions, any comments? Is this useful? Does it help you? Please, I would expect at least a few people to just unmute and speak up. Go ahead, Theo. Or Gabriel.
Yeah, Tim, sorry, man, to interrupt. I just wanted to find out from you, the information you are sharing here is quite interesting and quite attractive to me. I don't know exactly if you have some sources where you get this kind of information. So during our spare time and wara, we can actually go through it, just go and read and try to research more about this cryptocurrency that is coming through. So I'm really impressed with what you are saying now and all the kind of information you are sharing. It's quite deep and it's quite relevant. So I don't know if you will be able to share maybe the website or the sources of information where you are actually getting this kind of information.
No, absolutely, absolutely. In fact, I've actually referenced, so I'm going to have a convention, any slide that is pulled from somewhere, I'm going to put a reference at the bottom. I've actually done that. If you look here, I've done, it's just that I've not done it consistently. Let's see, I have one of these ones, like this one. You know, the source is there, and I'm happy to share that via the Telegram channel. That's why we have the Telegram channel, to allow us to have follow through. I mean, chain analysis is one very, very insightful platform. And we do qualified data. We don't just do like, oh, some article from Business Daily, you know, who are, or the Sowetan, or some random person who has no idea. I'm quite rigorous when it comes to information that we share, to make sure that it's actually qualified information, not just, even the champions also follow the same rigor in terms of that. So I'm happy to share that with you. Could you just perhaps consider just installing Telegram and just joining, and then you'll get all the things are there. Everything that we've shared will be available to you, everything, including the recordings and everything like that. Hopefully that will be helpful.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, excellent. Any other comment before I jump into the index? We'll be done in exactly 4 minutes, or in fact 5 maximum. Any other comments? Dennis, how are you finding it? Do you think this is interesting as a first timer? Perhaps
I think it's very interesting. Yeah, it's very interesting. I'm glad to be here. Maybe my questions will come in the next session, not today.
Okay. Thank you. My sister, I hope you're not lost. Abigail. Okay. So I think let me just really head to the index. Now, if you look here, and just to connect back to what I said earlier.
Hello.
Yes, I was just checking in if this is useful for you.
For the, being the first time, I'm learning a lot.
Okay. Now I'm glad. Okay. Now, the idea behind this is that, there's so many, there are 10,000 of this, by the way. So what we did along the way is we came up with a framework that allows us to quickly look at this and narrow down to a few and quickly qualify why those few. And this is just one example to just help you to say, instead of looking at 10,000, we give you top 5, and it's up to you to narrow down in fact, fewer, to take maybe a 2 or 3 that you're going to put your money into. So this would be a good starting point for you, Gabriel, if you want to look at, which coins could you potentially invest in, because a good number of us are invested in Cardano because of the reasons listed here. It's actually seeking to solve some of the issues that the leaders have here, which is Ethereum and Bitcoin. It's considered, quite innovative in terms of it's trying to solve some of the limitations. I don't want to go into the technicals. The same with Solana and Hedera. Hedera is a whole other platform. It's not even a blockchain. It uses a different, method of solving the same problem with speed and scalability and all these other technical terms that we can throw in. And just for the record, because this 4 have been there before. The one that I just added is actually what you call Chainlink. And I have mentioned it as a niche player because it's actually providing what you call interoperability or connection between the different blockchains that you have. And that is because it's a common problem. Our feeling is because of the fact that this is a problem that is across all these other solutions, then its value definitely is going to go up over time. So have a look at it. Read a little bit more about it. I'm going to share the screenshot of this again via the channel. You can go and read a little bit further and actually, see which one makes sense to you. In terms of affordability, Cardano is slightly over $1, 30 cents, thereabouts. Solana about $30 one. Chainlink is about 17, if I'm not wrong. And Hedera is 22 cents. In fact, less than 20 cents. Polygon is it's actually less than $1. It used to be about 130, but it's less than $1 for now. So it's actually very good price points for each of these to be able to look at it and say, can I buy 100 of this? Can I buy 10? Can I buy 20? So you can actually get into the game and without really losing sleep. Because I mean, really, if you spend $50, I don't think you're gonna sleep hungry. Buying a couple of Polygon, for example, or Hedera, which is actually 20 cents. You'll get quite a number of those. And over time, the price will go up definitely because of the problem that they're solving. And I'm sure that it will be something that will be good for you. Now, let me wrap up. This is my wrap up point. I encourage each one of us to continue to invite those who would benefit from this forum. The reason why we're doing it this way is so that it continues to be a forum that is powered by the community. That's the model that we are following. We're not selling anything. There is no intention to sell anything, but it will not really be sustainable. It's 5 people who come every week, and then it's 5, and then it's 3, or and then over time it will just die on its own because we didn't really share with the next person. I hope you're getting the picture, and I think that's really how we're gonna make it sustain itself, by inviting other people and all of that. But yeah, so I would encourage you to be able to do that. And then just for the sake of what we expect next, I know we've spoken, Bianca and Theo in particular will be teaching in the next session when we resume in August. We're going to take a 2-week break, which means we are only coming back in August. We'll give you the specific date. In August, I think that should be, if I'm not wrong, Theo, I think we looked at it the other day. You're teaching on the 11th. And I think we're probably coming back only on the Wednesday of the 4th of August. So we're going to be on break until then. And yeah, so then we'll have topics like P2P. We look at the deep dive. And then I think I want to really make sure that we communicate the vision again and where we're trying to go with this. So yeah, so that's really where this is a draft of what we're thinking about next. Are there any other topics outside of the one that, in fact, I think we're going to add the mining session here. Is there any other topic that anybody wants to add before I close? As I kind of give the conclusion and summary?
I just wanted to ask just one quick question. There is a lot of chatter around Dogecoin on Twitter, and I don't see it mentioned. I don't see it mentioned in the ones that you recommend. Why is that?
Oh, so firstly, thank you, Dennis, for that question. We did a whole 1 hour session on Doge. We spent 1 hour. So no. It's actually, I'm just letting you know that we have resources, and I'm happy to share because you're on the group. I'm going to share with you the video, the recording of Doge. You'll get we've done a comprehensive analysis on the utility behind Doge using our framework. And we had a very robust debate with input from yours truly, Theo, who is a Doge-preneur, who is a champion for Doge alongside Elon. Anyway, I don't want to mischaracterize you, my brother. But we have had Doge on this framework before. We have actually had it here under niche players because it actually serves a very specific use case. So courage to you. Check out the recording. We have recommended it in one of our crypto indexes in the past. Hopefully that's helpful.
Oh, thank you.
Great. So guys, allow me so that I don't keep you because some of us need to jump onto a prayer meeting, praying for South Africa. Guys, we've covered the ecosystem. It's big picture. Sorry for those guys who like details, but I tried as much to just make sure that we could appreciate the bigger picture as well as other opportunities and to make sure that we're not leaving money on the table. And thank you for the input for future topics that we're going to look at. And again, as always, until we come back in 2 weeks' time, thank you for being part of the session today. It's been a pleasure having you, and let's keep evangelizing this message. Let's spread it across each of the countries. Thank you. We've had Ethiopia represented, Uganda for the first time. And on that note, I want to wish you a wonderful evening and a great two weeks break until we reconnect in 2 weeks' time. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you very much,
Tim.
everyone. Okay,
Thank
bye-bye.
you, guys. Thank you.